Hello, hello. Welcome back. Good evening. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to my podcast. This evening we're going to talk about how can you handle a trauma? How can you handle a trauma? This is one of those topics that everyone pretends they don't have. But before they sleep, they wrestle, they fight with that before they go to bed. They keep on wrestling. They keep on fighting with. What's that? Trauma. Every time. That unpaid bills, your emotional wallet, that will not allow you to sleep. That one incident that your brain replays like a Nollywood movie in too many sequels. It keeps playing in your mind, playing in your head continuously. And before you roll your eyes, what are you going to say? What is it that this guy talking about? Don't worry. We are not going to sit here and whisper about the trauma in a sub therapy voices. No, we are going to miss it with proper jokes. We talk about in a way that you will laugh at your trauma, because if you don't laugh at your trauma, probably your trauma is laughing at you. Understand? So we're gonna look into it proper. Okay? Because everyone has it. Everyone has it. But nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to admit that they have trauma. Unless it's on TikTok where people turn their, they turn their breakdown into dance challenges. Everyone has it. You got trauma. We all trauma. I got trauma. You got trauma. Everybody has trauma. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now let me tell you, trauma is like that unwanted guest who never leaves. You think he's gone, then at 2 a.m. it knocks on it knocks on your brain like, hey, remember that embarrassing incident that happened in 2010? Yeah, let's replay it. Let's play it again over and over again in the brain screen. It never goes. It pop up. When you're talking about trauma, we're talking about emotional and psychological response to an intense, distressing, and disturbing event that overwhelms an individual ability to cope. Okay, so it's it's crucial. It's crucial. It's important that you understand that the event itself does not define trauma, but by the individual's subjective experiences. The event, the traumatic is for one person may not be like for another person. That the trauma that you got might be different from someone else's trauma. The experiences that you got from it, the incident that happened might be different from someone. Okay. Why I said that everyone has trauma, but nobody wants to admit that they have it. I would like to show you how you have trauma so that you will understand what we are really like talking about, so you understand what and how you got the trauma. Okay. There are types of trauma. I'm just gonna like mention three of them, just three. I will explain three, then you can like understand where I'm coming from. The first one is the big T, what they call the big T trauma. That's the shock trauma. This is what makes people think of, like it involves a direct threat to life or bodily harm, serious incident, car accident, workplace or something like that, natural disaster, earthquakes, floods, physical or sexual assault, something like that, combat exposure, when people went to war. Understand, after war and all that, people see some people they cut off their leg and all that, they amputate their hands or something. You understand what I mean? That combat exposure, I get me, give you trauma. You got serious medical procedures or life-threatening illness, also something like that. Witnessing severe violence or death. You see someone like dying, maybe through accident or something. Just like you see that person, it can stay in your head for a long time. We have the little T, the trauma, developmental and complex trauma. That one refers to highly distressing event that may not be, it's not like life-threatening ones, but are chronic and repetitive, often occurring in childhood within caregiver. That's, like maybe parents or caregiver or guardian or something like relations. It can come from them, and the impact is cumulative. Example: emotional neglect or abuse. Sometimes you see parents will leave their kids at home long time and go to work. The kids will just like on their own take care of themselves, childhood. Okay. Or sometimes it's abuse. Some parents, you see them always marking their kids, beating them up or something like that. Say living with a parent with untreated mental illness or addiction. Some parents, you see them being addicted to drugs, alcohol. After that, they will start abusing their kids. Look at bullying, chronic humiliation or betrayal. A girlfriend might dump you just like that. Do you understand what I mean? Or like they can like humiliate you in public or something. Poverty and food insecurity. These are trauma. It's just like what they call the little T, developmental and complex trauma. Then the other one is what we call the complex PTSD. Is, you can call it CPTSD. This results from prolonged repeated trauma from which there is no easy escape. For example, child abuse, long-term domestic violence, being a prisoner of war. It shares symptoms with PTSD, but also includes severe difficulties with emotional regulation, self-concept, and relationships. You understand? So those are the examples, types of trauma. That's what I said to you. I told you that everybody, everybody has trauma in one way or the other. You got trauma, got trauma. So your trauma can be in the big T, or your trauma can be like, in little T, or your trauma can be like complex PTSD. So it depends on where you get it. You got trauma. But the thing is that most times, what people normally say, they will tell you straight away, like, you come on, man, you need to move on. Those are the big advice that people always give. People always give that advice. You know what I mean? Just move on. Just move on. Just move on. She move on from what? Trauma. Excuse me, sir. Move on to where? Trauma, you can listen. Trauma is not a house party. You can just leave anytime, leave early, anytime you want to. You just get in there. You see, it's not, maybe it's not what you're expecting. You don't like the environment. You don't like what you're seeing. You can just leave early. Trauma is not like that. When you are heartbroken, people tell you to just move on. When you lose a job, people will say just move on, bro. If moving on was just that easy, Nigerians would have moved out of this economy long ago. All those, like Tinubu, Buhari economy, they could have moved on a long time ago. If moving on is that easy, those in London in 813, that traffic, they would have moved on so fast. But it's not like that. And let's be real, trauma is like WhatsApp group. You know what the WhatsApp group chat? You're in a WhatsApp group. You think you left from the group, but somehow you are added back. You don't know how they added you. They just add you back again. Flash, like flashbacks are like those annoying good morning, have a blessed day messages that are popping out from your WhatsApp group. That's the flashback you're getting all the time. It's keep coming. They just keep coming over and over again because that's how trauma is. That's trauma. And the question maybe I probably ask you is this: what the worst advice someone ever gave you while you are going through something? What is the worst advice someone have ever gave to you while you are going through something? You find yourself difficulty or something. What's that worst advice someone maybe like giving to you? You understand? You can just put it on the comment section or send it to our WhatsApp group. I would like to know because people always have that advice. They always give you that advice. You need to move on. Move on. It's easy for you, them just like tell you to move on. Move on from where and where are you going to? Where are you moving to? It's trauma. I already said just like I read them all here. Depends on which one you're looking at. The big T is there. Serious accident. Maybe you're an accident, you find yourself in an accident, car accident, or something like that. It can cause you trauma. Natural disaster, whatever it is, earthquake, whatever. People, they're going through that. It's causes trauma. Physical or sexual assault causes trauma. Combat exposure, all of that. It's going to be in your head. It keeps you like when you close your eyes, you keep on hearing those gunshots. You keep on hearing people scream. All those is trauma. It's going to be there. Then when you're talking about the little one, the little T, emotional neglect, abuse is there. It's in your head. It's in your head. When you close your eyes, you remember you see all those things. When you're living with those parents that are maybe like they have untreated mental health, every time they're screaming, they're shouting. No matter what you do, they keep on screaming and shouting, breaking plates, breaking everything. At one point they're happy, at one point they're sad, at one point they're crying, at one point they're singing. It's like their mood is like, London weather. It keeps changing at every bit. Then what talking about the bullying that you went through and all that, it causes trauma. It's gonna be in your head when you remember that. Sometimes it happens when you're a kid, when you're just growing up. In primary school, when you go to school, other kids they keep on bullying you and all that. It's gonna be in your head. Sometimes someone can tell you move on because you're grown now. They're telling you to move on, but it shaped who you are. It shaped who you are. It shaped the way you interact with people, the way you move with people, the way you come into like in a gathering and all that. It shaped who you are. Sometimes when they're looking at you, you're your own, you're standing somewhere, you're sitting somewhere, your own, just you don't want to talk to anybody. And people will be thinking that you're quiet. It's not that you're quiet. It's just that the experience and the trauma that you passed through when you were young, trauma that you passed through when you were in school, primary school, is still following you around because it has not been healed. It's staying there. You see someone being humiliated, I mean like chronic humiliation or betrayal. Your girlfriend will just dump you in front of everyone. Some people, you see them on the social media, they are there, they're coming out because they want to surprise everyone. They want to surprise their girlfriend. They bring out the ring. They want to propose in front of everybody. They will bring their cameraman, everything, because they want it to be like a grand gesture so that it's going to be loud. With hope that the person that they thought that they were in love with will accept that grand gesture, will accept and say yes. And then they will kneel down one knee or something, just like propose and ask the lady to marry. And she will turn around and said no, because she wasn't expecting it, because she didn't love you that way. She's just using you to wait till the right person comes. So when you're proposing and she says no in front of everybody, what do you think is going to happen? That's chronic humiliation, betrayal. It's a trauma. It will give you trauma that you will never forget in your lifetime. What about poverty and food insecurity? I'm talking about poverty. Poverty can give you a lifetime trauma that it will shape the way you behave. It will shape the way you behave, especially when it comes to food. You see some families, you see some people, because of poverty, when they start getting a little bit of money in their homes, they start regulating food. They start regulating food. They keep on shouting. Even their kids cannot eat properly. Why? Because they're regulating the food. They believe in maybe that food will finish that day. They will not have another, maybe another tomorrow and all that. It's trauma. And kids, they're hungry. Their kids are hungry. They want to eat. But the food are being rationed. It's not that the parents don't have the money. They have the money. They got the money. But just because of poverty, they grow the experience they had when they were like poor, maybe from their family, the home where they come from, they will grow with that. It shapes the way they react, the way they see food. See that they become insecure. That's what they call food insecurity, because of the perception they got from that poverty, that trauma that is following them around. And what I'm trying to say is that I already said that before. I said that a lot of people will tell you that they don't have trauma without knowing that they have trauma. Everybody have trauma in one way or the other. Everyone, you got trauma one way or the other. Then when you look at the complex PTSD, this one is one, yeah, everybody, yeah, Papa, when it gets to the PTSD, yeah, people will say to you, yes, he got like, he got an issue, or he got, probably, yeah, they can say that you have a sickness or something, because it's a prolonged, repeated trauma from which there's no easy escape. It's been there, was not healed. They didn't treat it properly. They didn't even know that you had trauma. Then it grows in. And the same thing with your, like I said earlier, it comes maybe from childhood abuse. It comes from long-term domestic violence. Or it comes from being a prisoner of war or something like that. Even like just going war, or just experiencing a major incident or like accident or something that is in there in your head that you didn't know. It's there. You have the emotionally is being regulated. It's there inside of you that you don't know how to like handle it. And people will just tell you to move on. Move on. You need to move on. And then you're asking them, how? You're moving where? Where do you want this person to move to? And I ask, what is the worst advice someone ever gave you while you were going through something? What's the advice? Send it to me. Put in a comment section. The number is on the screen. You can send it to your WhatsApp. I would like to know. Okay? I would like to know. The line is open. I would like you to call me. I would like to know your thought of what we are discussing. Okay, I will put the number on the screen for you to call to join the program. +447449823876. That's the number to call. The WhatsApp number to call to join the program. Or you can put on the comment section your thought. The question we're asking this evening is just simple. How can you handle a trauma? How can you handle a trauma? I've been trying to explain to let you know that how maybe types of trauma, because a lot of people will tell you that they don't have it. And most people, maybe they don't even know that they have a trauma, because these are I've showed I've just read out a lot of experiences, things, how you can even get trauma. That's it. The number is on the screen. I don't want to call me. Okay, let's crack on. Let's crack on. So when we're talking about dealing with trauma and all that, okay, someone especially we that come from Africa, Nigeria, especially, you know, you know how it is in our community. Trauma is not trauma. Nope. Trauma is what? Spiritual attack. Where we come from, there's nothing like trauma. They label it spiritual attack, because especially in, I said it to Nigeria. If you're Nigerian, you understand what I'm talking about. If you say you are depressed, somebody will ask you, have you tried Psalm 91? Have you tried Psalm 91? They would ask you to read the Bible, Psalm 91. Like, bro, my yeah, you like, bro, come on, man. My brain is chemistry is messed up. Not my church attendance. The person is telling you, is trying to let you know that is the brain, they cannot comprehend what is happening to them. When they want to sleep at night, they keep on reflecting, remembering everything that happened. Like it's like a flashlight coming to their face. They can't sleep because they keep on remembering that incident, what happened, that car accident, the car crash, the abuse, the humiliation, all of those, the trauma, it keeps coming. And then telling them to read Psalm 91. Don't get me wrong. Prayer helps. When you pray, you know how it is. Faith helps. But you can't cast out PTSD with olive oil or coconut oil or night vigil. Therapy, when they talk about therapy exists for a reason. There's a reason why they have therapy. When someone telling someone that you're depressed or something because of your trauma, and then they telling you that you need to pray, not that. Prayer, like I said, is good, helps sometimes. But this is something that is affecting you psychologically and emotionally. It's in there. It's an occurrence of something that happened to you that you keep remembering over and over again. Mm-hmm. Okay? Let's imagine this. Your car engine is smoking. Would you take it to a mechanic? Or would you sprinkle anointing oil on, say, Holy Ghost fire, fix this car bumper, Holy Ghost fire, let this car start immediately, let the smoke stop immediately. Exactly. So why is your brain different? If your car broke down, you will take it to the mechanic. They will look at it and change whatever it is that you need to change. Probably you didn't know that your oil is down. You didn't know that you have carburetor problem, or there's no water in your car. That's the reason why you just bring down the smokes and all that. You didn't know that. That's why you need a mechanic. That is why we're talking about how can you handle trauma? In what way can you handle a trauma? Because when they keep telling you you need to pray, you have to understand something. I believe that the prayer and your therapist should co-parent your healing. They should like co-parent your healing. Jesus will handle your soul. You become born again and all that. Then the therapist will handle the nervous system. And your group chat, just send me memes to distract you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why they need to find out what really happened. And that's the reason why sometimes when you go into, maybe you have a section with a pastor, or you want to like see your pastor one on one, you want to have a counseling or something like that, they will really want to find out details. The details. What is it that happened? Why is it that you don't sleep at night? Before you go to sleep, what usually happen? What are those dreams that you normally get? When you close your eyes, what is it that happens to you? Then when you start like analyzing and explaining and letting them, they will just get the picture of what they will tell you. You understand what I'm saying? It's either maybe they will tell you that don't, before you go to sleep, stop watching those movies that you normally watch. Or before you go to sleep, stop reading those books that you normally read. You understand? Then they will tell you what other steps you have to take in order for you to get those things out of your mind, get those things out of your head so that you can sleep. We're talking about trauma. How can you handle trauma? I've been saying this. I said that everyone has trauma, but it's only when you acknowledge or realize or know that you have trauma, and that's when you will find a way to handle it, find a way to tackle it. That's the issue. Okay. And then I want to ask you a question. Can you tell me, if you have had to, maybe you have to choose one for healing a trauma, maybe is it therapy or prayer or pepper soup? Just which one are you picking? If they ask you a trauma, which one of these three would you pick? Okay, for healing your trauma, therapy, prayer, or pepper soup? Can you just put it on the comment section? Let me know, because I know that I bet you 70% will say pepper soup. I know you're hungry. Many of you will say pepper soup, and don't put it on the comment section pepper soup. Seriously, no, but I'm serious. I'm not letting you know. Okay, because many people don't want to even like think about. Nobody, many don't want even like hear or go for therapy. No one wants to even like, when they tell you to go for therapy, even when they suggested to you to go for therapy, then you start thinking that you have mental issues or you have issues, maybe like mentally or something. That no, that people that normally go for therapy are people that have issues, that have maybe like have problem psychologically. Nobody wants to go for therapy. Nobody wants to go for therapy, forgetting that trauma, trauma, it's occurrence of incidents that happened to you that affected you in one way or the other. And most times you think it's gonna stay in there in your brain, it stays in there in your head, it stays in there. That it will sometimes you will just like you go, and sometimes you come up again. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you know what I mean? It's like data, Wi-Fi in Nigeria, where if you go Wi-Fi on your phone, sometimes it will vanish. You will not see it. You take your phone, you'll be right taking your phone, going looking for that, looking for network. Use your phone like you want to get see network, looking for it. When you forget and when you just like give up, when you give up, just give up, you say that you don't want to look for it anymore. That you see it just come up again. The data will come up again. And you'll be like, what did he go? What happened to you before? That's the way trauma happened. That's the way it is. It will go. A little thing will pop up again. One thing will just aggravate it, and then it will start again. You start like getting feeling those things. It's either maybe you're on the way, you're just walking. Either you're going to work or you're coming back from church or whatever. You just want to go to the shop to buy something, and then a car will just like move fast and screech, and then with the tires and all that, the sound will aggravate it because maybe you had that accident, maybe you had an incident or something, or maybe of a family or something through accident, they you lost them or some you know what I mean? It will aggravate it. That's the way it come up again because it didn't go, it was in there. And that's why. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. So you're gonna ask me, how can then one way will I what way can you cope with it? You see that there are people that start podcasts, just like the West. I'm here now with the podcast. Yes, I'm talking about maybe myself. When therapy is too expensive, start a podcast and call it healing. At least you will sound wise. Why, when I'm being broke or something, you start discussing, talking about all this stuff, experiences or what you're going through. You understand? That confession time. Okay, what's the weirdest coping mechanism you've ever used? What's the weirdest mechanism you ever used? I'm asking those that already like, that knew that they experienced or they had trauma. You understand? And they're like trying to cope and they're trying to like, go past it. You understand? Because everybody has coping mechanism. Some are healthy, like journal, I mean like journaling, some are like, meditation, some are like, go for therapy, some you know what I mean? Others maybe not much. They don't want to. Some people you see that they will go to gym, some will hit the bottle, they will drink alcohol. That's what they used to, like that's their coping mechanism. Some people will hit, you know what I mean? Once that thing will come up in their head, what they will say, you just like they will hit their SDM. They will start sending them messages, disturbing them at 11 p.m. at night when they're sleeping. And that's the most dangerous coping mechanism of all of it. You're watching me now, you know what I'm talking about. You just don't know what is happening to you. You just pick up your phone and start testing your S, sending them some weird messages, random messages, reminding them how you were nice to them, how, those days, all the things that you did to them, all the sacrifices, all of that. Then at the end, you just asked, what happened, Seth? Why did we broke up? You're forgetting that you guys broke up 2 years ago. Because what? Trauma. It's the trauma. And your coping mechanism is testing your ex. That is dangerous. And some of you, your own might be like, waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then you are going to the kitchen. What are you going to the kitchen to do? You are there, you're cooking Indomie. And then when someone catch you, ask you, say it's a therapy. That's how you cope your trauma. That's your coping mechanism. Eating Indomie at 3 a.m. in the morning. Do you understand? So how do you cope? What way? How do you cope with trauma? How do you cope with your trauma? Okay. The line is up now. Like, just call me or put on the comment section. You're saying there are some people also that they turn their trauma, maybe they turn their trauma into a business model. There are some people that turn their trauma into a business model. I'm talking about, you see someone like yes, probably you meet someone, then they will tell you that yes, I was heartbroken in 2015, and now I run a coaching program teaching resilience for only $150 per session. Okay, so the heartbroken taught me a lot of lessons, and because of that, I just wanted to help other people. I want to help other people, like to get that resilience in order for them to cope and all that. And you'll be like, wow, your your pen is now a PowerPoint presentation. That's not trauma. That's branding. Okay, that's hustle. You know what I mean? That's hustling big time. But real talk, okay, let's be serious. Sometimes trauma will push you, push people to grow, push you to grow. I mean, like some of the most creative artists. You're looking at some of creative artists, comedians. You understand? Leaders. Some of them, when you look at their story and their journey, they were maybe born out of deep pain. The pain. Some You see some comedians, some of them, because maybe they divorced, their wife kicked them out of the house. They were sleeping in their car or something like that. They were homeless and all that. And those incidents shape how they, like, that trauma will push them power. They push them to grow. They want to succeed by all costs, by all means. Do you understand what I mean? It's like, trauma is like a toxic ex, a toxic ex. I mean, like ex girlfriend, a toxic one, ex boyfriend, or whatever. It messes you up, but also teaches you how to, to be strong. Teaches you how to like cope. Do you understand what I mean? It's like that. So you see them, they push you to the extent that you want to succeed by all means at all cost. Okay. And then I would ask you as well, what one thing do you learn from a painful experience? What are the things that the painful, like, think about it. Think about it. What is that one thing that you learn from a painful experience? Is either maybe through a breakup, or maybe you lost a job, or probably, you know what I'm talking, where I'm driving at. What is that one thing? Okay, you can put it in the comment section, or you can just send it to a WhatsApp number. The number is on screen. You understand? So those are the things. It can push you to the extent that you become stronger. It can push you to a length where you want to succeed by all means, for you to be you know, successful in things you're doing, things you're doing. Then you ask me, oh, like I said earlier, people maybe if you had trauma, you didn't like heal properly, or that then you ask me, oh, how can you heal? In what way can you heal properly? What are the ways? What are the things? Healing is not a straight line. Okay, it's not a neat journey, like a little journey. You can just where you one day you just cry, the next day you will just like you get healed, and then boom, straight you are. You know what I mean? You are fine. No, 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 no. Healing is messy. Sometimes it's really messy. Sometimes it's not like something you can just like you wake up one morning and just say that, "Ah, yeah, I'm healed." You're healed. No, because now you're not crying anymore. Now you got in a new job and then you're okay now. So you're getting a bit of money. Because of that, you say to yourself, yeah, I'm healed. Yeah, yeah, you're healed now. Yeah, okay. Some days you will feel like, you know what I mean? You feel like, who will I use in this example now? You can say, okay, maybe you feel like Beyonce after a Grammy, right? You just feel like excited, just like that. But other days you feel like a Wi-Fi connection in rural Nigeria. Like I said earlier, in Nigeria, if you experience Nigeria Wi-Fi, you understand what I'm talking about. Unstable and full of what? Delays. It's unstable and full of delays. They understand. So that place where you're using your phone, you're looking at, you always see people, they do like this. They're looking at because they're trying to find where there is a connection to connect, for it to connect. You understand? It's unstable. And that's how healing is sometimes when it comes to trauma. Okay, it takes time. It takes time, and that will not because you can't say because of that. That's why maybe you will just like ignore it. No, because ignoring trauma is like ignoring a leak pipe. A leaking pipe. When you ignore a leaking pipe, what happens? Eventually, your whole house will flood. Right? That's the way it is when you ignore trauma. Your whole house will flood. And that's the way it is because you ignore it. The trick is what? Keep moving. Even if it's just baby steps, cry, laugh, journal, you pray, go to therapy, eat pepper soup, whatever keeps you going. Just don't stay one place. Don't get stuck. Keep moving. Keep moving. You understand? That is the key. That's the way you're gonna go. And they keep moving gradually, gradually, gradually. Because now you already know that you have a trauma and you know that you get that coping mechanism. You know gradually that you're gonna get there. You will get to where you want to get to. You understand? And that's the feeling. Okay? Because if you want to rush it and say there, boom, that you're healed and all that, you're deceiving yourself because you will keep popping up again. It will keep popping up again. Okay, it will keep popping again. So while we're now trying to round up what we discussed, we'll ask a simple question. How do you handle trauma? We explained what's trauma. Give you a lot of examples about trauma. Talked about coping and mechanism and all that. You understand? So how do you really handle trauma? The truth is there's no one size fits answer. There's no like you can't straightforward answer. You can say some people they cry it out. Some people they go to church. Some people they pray. Some people like they talk it out. They try to like always like talk about it. Do you understand? So some people they go on TikTok to pour out their hearts and their souls and their problems. What matters is you don't ignore it. That is it. What is it that you can do to do it? What is it that you can do? Okay? You want to go to TikTok to say it, it's okay. At least you are pouring it, you are saying it. Straight away is coming out. Instead of allowing it to be in there, you're bringing it out. You understand what I mean? If you have someone, a friend that you can like, talk, tell them about it, it's okay. If you want to go on therapy, that's perfect. If you have a pastor that you say maybe you want to go for counseling, and they want to like, listen to you, understand why you the problem is. Because the problem is that pastors, yes, some of them, yeah, is free. It's free sessions to see them one to one, but to see them is like a lottery ticket. And take you 3 years to see or to have a section because everybody want to see the pastor. And the funniest part is that most cases they always give preferences to the rich ones, people that can give them money, people that can give them more money. I mean, like tight and all those things. You understand what I mean? So if you're not like capable, if you're not someone that maybe like you're not buoyant and all that, it takes you time, a lot of time. What I'm trying to say is that whatever it is that you can do to cope, you have to try and do it. That is it. And don't forget that it's not a shame. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. But don't, no, 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 don't let it deter you. Because everybody have trauma in one way or the other. They all got trauma. The only thing differs. The only thing that differs is that how people handle their trauma, how they cope with their trauma, how they feast their trauma, how they get healed. You understand the process and everything? That's the difference. You understand? So that's what we're gonna stop. That's what I'm stopping this evening. If today's episode, if it's like something we did like this podcast episode we're talking about this evening, if it's I don't know, say if it made you laugh awkwardly, congratulations, you're officially human. You understand? But if it didn't make you laugh, you really need to like, try to laugh sometimes. Sometimes maybe it's not a joke, it's not funny, but try to smile sometimes. Okay? Just share the program on your contact, share to your loved ones, share to someone that you know that might need it. Okay? Because healing may be personal, but laughter is free. It's free group therapy. It's a very, very good therapy. Everyone. So you can share it to your friends on your WhatsApp, share it to friends on Facebook, share it to friends on TikTok, share this program. And if it's the first time you're coming across one on YouTube, please just give us a subscribe and click on notification. Okay. On that note, I'll see you on next week. We've got Tyrese on another topic. Have a lovely weekend.